Hey guys, it's the lazy spoiled kitty. It's been a long time since we last spoke. I've made a few videos along the way of what I've been doing, that I've been jumping around hobbies, that I've been making new YouTube channels, etc. But this has always been like my main channel where I kind of grew up here, to be honest. So I grew up here with knives as a hobby. I still have my knives from those days, but I no longer buy knives. A, because they're expensive, and B, just my hobbies and interests have changed throughout the years. Mostly because I've got a family, I've got kids, so I don't buy those. So the only thing really I've been doing is swapping around. Like it used to be Pokemon cards, it used to be motorcycles. I still love motorcycles, but and now I just went back to the good old video games. So just been playing a lot of WoW, World of Warcraft, and old school RuneScape recently has hooked me, and it's been quite chill. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is I think that I owe it to myself and to those that still are subscribed to this channel, because there's a lot of people still subscribed, like almost 3K subscribers after like, holy shit, like what, 15 years, 10 years, I don't know, 15 years, something like that. So it's been a long time. And so I think I owe it to you guys to tell you this story. Hopefully I won't talk too long. But first, to go into it, I nearly died last year. It's been quite a difficult year for my family and myself. To first, to give you a perspective, basically the short story is I've had some difficulties with my heart. And mind you, I'm 35 years old, so I didn't expect this. So I've had some heart issues, which I found out about at the doctor. I'll go into that in a second. And I needed heart surgery. So, and it wasn't just normal heart surgery, it was open heart surgery. So it was quite a big jump in terms of the procedure, right? But yeah, so that's basically what happened, and how it happened and how I found out. So to give you guys a little story time, back in 2024, it was December, I believe, nearing the end of December, my kids got sick from preschool. And they were just, they got a fever, they were taking it quite bad. And as with all kids, they passed on the sick germs to their father and their mother. Their mom didn't get sick, but I did get sick, and I took it quite bad. Like I had a high fever, like my whole body was aching. I was burning up. So, but I'm one of those kinds of people that I fucking hate going to the doctor, and I rarely do go to the doctor. That has changed now, to be honest. But I felt quite bad. So my wife, God bless her soul, basically kicked me out of the house to go to the doctor. She booked an appointment, told me to drive, go check yourself out, get some meds, take those meds, take like a few days off of work, and get better. So I did. So I went to the doctor, and this was just like a general practitioner. It wasn't like any kind of specialist. It was just a general doctor, general practitioner, as they call it, I believe in English. So the doctor started checking me. He's like, "Hey, what's up? This and that." I'm like, "Yeah, fever, high temperature, and I don't feel good. My muscles and my bones are aching, etc." So he started, checking me, my throat, my temperature, my pulse, and he's like, the pulse. Like, he didn't like something that he saw when he was taking like my pulse. So he's like, "Okay, let's do a scan." I don't know the medical term for this. I don't know, but basically you put in like suction cups around your chest, etc. So it just takes like a reading of your heartbeat, basically. And not only that, like it also measures your pulse, your heartbeat, and some other measurement that I'm unaware of. I'm not like really that into medicine to tell you specific wording. In any case, he's like, "How do you feel?" I'm like, "I mean, aside from the flu, I feel fine." And he's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Okay, let's sit down. I'm gonna take a few notes, and I'm gonna tell you what's up, what to do next." And he's taking notes. He's like, "Okay, sir, I'm gonna have to call an ambulance, and I would highly suggest that you go to the hospital now." I'm like, "What's happening?" And he's like, the results from like the heart scan that I just did don't seem very good. There's some abnormal heartbeats. You need to check yourself out. You need to speak to a cardio practitioner, so a person who specializes in the heart. But I'm like, but I'm here by myself with the car, and my wife needs to drive the kids to preschool tomorrow. I can't leave her without a car, so I'll go to a hospital, no problem. It's just I need to drive back, give her my car, and then I'll go to the hospital, like by myself. I'll administer myself. And he said, okay, well, at your own risk, but I would highly suggest just taking an ambulance right now. But I refused. I was feeling fine. He's like, okay, take it slow. Don't run, don't jog, just walk. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, what the fuck is happening with me? So I did that. So nothing happened, obviously. I drove home. I told my wife what's up. She literally got super scared. I left the car, and my mom drove me to the hospital because my mom works as a nurse at the hospital. So she took me to her hospital. They administrated me. I spoke to like a general practitioner. And since I was sick, I needed to go into a separate room where I stayed the night. And this was like before New Year's, by the way. So Happy New Year for me. Is it from 2024 to 2025? I was some fucking night. But it wasn't like New Year's Eve. Like it wasn't the night where it switches years. But it was like 2 days before. So usually we would be prepping for New Year's, like to have like some sort of mini party. But yet I spent it in the hospital. Yay me. And so the doctor said, you have a fever. These kinds of readings are normal. Where you have a high fever and you have a high flu, it affects your heart. I'm like, okay. That kind of, relieved me. But he said, in any case, I still would highly recommend to speak to some sort of specialist. And so I did. Sorry, I was glancing at my work PC, checking if there's anything happening. And so we did. I assigned myself a private visit. Well, my wife did, actually. She's actually been the organizer of a lot of things. Just women are kind of more straightforward with the medical stuff, I would say. And so she assigned me a visit at a cardio practitioner's office. He did a full scan. He did like a picture of it, the ultrasound, I think it's called, ultrasound of the heart. He did all that. We sat down. He was like doing it for, holy crap, like 40 minutes. I swear, like he was really, really into it. But I could see it on his face that like he's super focused, and this doesn't seem like a standard thing for him. And so we sat down, and he's like, okay, so this is serious. He's the first thing he says. I'm like, holy shit, no. I'm like, my world sank as soon as I heard that. And he said, you have ASD of the heart. I'm like, what the fuck is ASD of the heart? I believe that's the name of it. But in your average Joe Schmo terms, it means you have a hole, a little hole in your heart. I'm like, what? I'm like, what do you mean I have a hole in my heart? I'm like, what does that mean even? He's like, the way he explained it, there's, well, there's two parts of the heart, obviously, where the blood circulates. And the blood is supposed to be only in one side of the heart, and the other one is supposed to be basically empty. It's used for, I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but it's used, there's a different function for that, separate part of it. In any ways, and there is a wall in between those two sides. And basically, if you can imagine it like this, there was an opening like this. And basically it allowed the blood to flow inside the part that shouldn't have blood in it. Yeah, sure, some can get in there, like for any normal human being, but it shouldn't be like overflowing, right? And so let's say you have a bottle that has a hole and you keep pouring in water, it's gonna overflow into, like, let's say you have it connected to a separate container, it's gonna start flowing in there. And imagine it being a balloon, and if it's a balloon, it's gonna expand, right? So it just kept pouring in there, and this has been happening for 34 years, 35 years. So it just kept expanding, and he said it was overworking the heart, basically. So, and this could result in a heart failure, aka kaput. You would die, basically, eventually. It could lead to a stroke, it could lead to any, like, whatever. Like, I can't even say what else it could have resulted in, but it could have basically meant I could die, or I could have been hospitalized, and who the hell knows what would have happened to me. But we're like, I don't feel anything. I don't feel any pain. I don't feel tired. Like, what is this? He's like, it's a birth defect. You got it when you were born. And he said, everybody has this birth defect, basically. So me, you, my mom, your dad, your friends, everybody has this. Everybody has this small opening in their heart when they're born. But usually when they're a child in the early stages of childhood, that hole is closed. By itself, naturally, the muscle closes up and it's no longer there. But in some cases, around, I don't even remember the percentage he gave at this point, but there is a chance that it won't close, and you will start to feel symptoms around 30 to 40 years old. You will feel tired. You can, like, whenever you're lifting stuff, you will sleep a lot more. You will experience chest pains, or you will be losing your breath and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh my fucking god! I'm like, I was at a loss for words, to be honest with you. I wasn't speaking at that time. I just didn't know what to think. My life flashed before my eyes, and I thought, this is it. So we're like, what's happening next? He's like, well, the good thing is you came in, we diagnosed you, and there's treatment for it via surgery. And there's two options. We're like, okay, what are the options? Option number one is less intrusive, invasive. I don't know how to pronounce it or say it, but basically there's this little small surgical tube that goes through your thighs, so like through your leg near your crotch. They make a small incision, obviously, like, you don't feel it. There's anesthetic, and they find a big vein that goes all the way to your heart. And basically they take this little tube, and at the end of this little tube is this little probe, like it's made out of like some material. And imagine an umbrella, and basically the umbrella is closed, and basically they're feeding this tube with this little closed umbrella at the tip through the vein, and goes all the way to your heart. They find this closing. In the meanwhile, they have you plugged into the ultrasound, so they can see exactly where the tube is and exactly where the opening is between the wall of the two parts of the heart. And they take this little tube, they find the wall, they go through it, and like, they have these magical instruments at the other end of the tube, and they basically, the umbrella opens up, they pull it slightly, and it closes one side, and on the other side, when they're pulling out the umbrella, basically removing it from the tube, they're disattaching it, it closes up on the other side, and it just plasters both sides. So that's option one. And option two, they open you up like a Thanksgiving turkey, and they open up your heart with a scalpel. They find the heart, they find the opening, and basically they close it. They sew it. They like take this little biomaterial and they close up the hole that way, like with stitches inside your heart. Can you imagine that? I couldn't. I still can't. Basically, they stitch the hole, they stitch your heart, and then they take metal like inserts and close up your rib cage, because they had to fucking break your rib cage open to get there. So quite extreme. So that's option two. We're like, okay, cool. Option one sounds very good. He's like, yes, option one, basically you're fully conscious, fully aware, and it doesn't hurt, and it takes like 10-15 minutes. You take some medicine to speed up the process of like biological tissue growing over the hole. Okay, perfect. We're like, so how do we get that done? He's like, well, you need further diagnostics, not at my place. It needs to be done professionally. You need like a full picture of your heart to determine the size of the hole, because that's the most important. The umbrella cannot be performed, the umbrella method, if the hole is too big, basically. Give me a second. If the hole is too big, they cannot perform the surgery that way. We're like, okay. So they administered me to the best hospital in Warsaw that specializes in heart surgeries and heart treatment. So we're like, okay, that's reassuring. So they took me in for the tests, and they gave me the results of the tests. And I had to, of course, chat with a doctor about it. Basically what they said is, we need to cut you up. The hole is too big for you to be treated in the easy way. And as a 35-year-old, I can clearly tell you right now, that was the first time in my life I was so scared. Because of, I never ever had surgery in my life. But yeah, they told me they needed to cut me up, and they would call me when there is a date ready for my surgery. So they called me, and this was like January when I had these tests and all that. So it's been like, from the time I got diagnosed, and from the time this guy told me what's happening, and by the time I've had all these tests, it's been like roughly a month. And mind you, I'm still feeling fine. There's nothing that I wasn't doing on a regular basis. And after that, they called me like 4 months later. Holy shit. I think it was February passed, April passed, and then, February, March, April passed, and in May they called me. So it was like 4 months later. And they called me, they're like, okay, sir, there's an opening in 1 week. I'm like, in 1 week, huh? I'm like, is there any other alternative? Because I'm not mentally prepared. They're like, well, sir, looking at your papers, you should get this ASAP. Like, I know you're probably not feeling comfortable, but you need to get this done. And I'm like, okay, book me. And so it was booked on the 20th of May of last year, of 2025. So May 20th arrives. My wife drives me, and would you know it, my surgery was delayed by 1 day. So I had 1 day to mentally prepare myself somehow. So yeah, I've had two neighbors in the same room, like these two old guys. There was only old guys in the hospital, by the way. Nobody had this condition that I had. They had like also birth defects, but different ones. Yeah, but I can't tell you what exactly they're like bypasses. I think they were doing. Yeah, so I'm sure that is a term that a lot of people know. So most of them were with like a bypass surgery coming up. Um, so yeah. So yeah, they take me. They tell me to shave everything, shave off, like shave my arms, shave my legs, shave my beard, shave everything, like squeaky clean as a newborn. I was like, okay, that felt weird. I took a shower. They gave me this like surgery um, gown or dress. I don't know. It's like just pants and a shirt made out of this like fabric, thin fabric. They put me on a wheelchair and they take me. And they tell me to lie down on a bed, and the nurses were just like being. Everyone was nice and friendly, by the way, in my hospital. Like the nurses was super supportive, super friendly. They were like telling me to talk about my kids, about my wife, about my job, and they were super friendly. And that was nice. That did give me a little bit of comfort, to be honest. And then the doctor came. He's like, "Hi, we're gonna be performing the surgery," and I don't remember anything after that. I think they just plugged in the anesthetic and I just went to sleep, basically. And yeah, the one thing that I do remember before the surgery, though, that I was still in my room, is they made me sign these papers, and they're basically there's a risk of you dying. I was like, "Oh, great!" Fantastic, but it's mandatory. I get it. It's their job. They're supposed to tell you. They need to. So I didn't blame them. But still, again, being a father at 35 of two kids, one is four, sorry, and the other one is three. I was scared to fucking death that I wasn't gonna see them. I wasn't gonna get to see my dogs. I wasn't gonna get to see my wife. So yeah, I was scared, and my wife, by the way, I didn't say this at all, but she was crying her eyes out. She was super scared, and yeah, as you can imagine, anyone would be for their spouse. So yeah, uh, and yeah, and then I blacked out. Like I said, they gave me the stuff. I'll call it the stuff. I don't know what happened after. Obviously, they gave me treatment, and I woke up not so pleasantly. Like when they're waking you up, they take the tube out, and you're like fucking choking on your own vomit. I kid you not. It's not a good experience. I woke up. I woke up like someone beat the living shit out of me. Like I was just so tired, and I don't know, I just didn't feel like doing anything. That kind of feeling. I don't know how to explain it, but you're like pumped full of painkillers. And yeah, I just look down and I'm like, I have fucking tubes coming out of my stomach. Like, I don't know, pumping out excess fluids and blood, I guess. And I have like this string coming out of the bottom of my chest. Like it was like this blue string with like two attachments to it. I'm like, what is this? And they're like, oh, it's used to attach electricals for like, in case your heart stops, we plug in and give you a heart massage, as they called it. So I'm like, okay, cool. So it was like 2 days after they took me to a general room where I stayed. And that's when shit started going down because I felt fucking horrible. Now, of course, they first they did like blood tests. They're like, oh, you're doing fucking amazing. You're young. You're good. Your tests, your blood test is like fucking great. You're a Greek god. I'm like, okay, fantastic. And then one day, It was the day after I was administered into the general room, like where there's like two other guys in the room. So like you're basically in recovery mode in that room. Like post surgery, they take you to this post surgery room where you're closely monitored with the doctors and nurses, like running around you 24/7. Then you're in the general room where they check up on you like every so often, basically, or you can call them on like this beeper. But long story short, one day after my wife came there and she's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I don't feel good." And I'm like I feel like my arm is getting numb, like I feel fucking hot. And they're checking me. You're fine. You don't have temperature, sir. Like your blood tests are fine. And we're like, "You're good." I'm like, "Well, I sure as hell don't feel good." I wasn't really talking much either. My wife said I went like completely pale, like I was white as a fucking wall. And a nurse comes in. Oh, he just needs like the rehab guys to come in and lift him up to get up from the bed. I tried, and I am like, "Put me down." Like my head hurts. Like I can't feel my legs. And then this older doctor came in and did an ultrasound. Thank God for this doctor. Like this older woman. She was like maybe 65 plus, I don't know. In any case, she did an ultrasound and she's like, "Are you guys stupid? This guy has blood. He has a blood clot next to his heart. So basically, your heart is covered by this invisible membrane and it expands, right? The heart moves up, like it moves like a little balloon as well. Like it moves." And imagine there's like this little ball of blood next to it, and your heart, when it's expanding, it's like it's hitting it. So basically, you can't fucking get enough oxygen to get your body to fully function correctly. It's not circulating enough blood, basically. So they're like, "Immediately!" And they take me for another surgery. So I'm like crying as a 35-year-old man that holy shit, I'm gonna die. My wife is crying. She's like, "It's gonna be okay," but she's crying. My mom and my aunt was there too. They're like, "You're gonna be fine." And I'm like, I'm looking for any kind of support. I'm going into the surgery. They're not there anymore. I can't see my family anymore. I'm like, "Oh my God." And I'm like crying. And the nurses are trying to call me. She grabbed my hand. She's like, "What's the name of your kids? What's the name of your kids? Tell me about the name of kids. Don't think about anything else. What's the name of your kids?" So I'm like, "Jacob and Alex." She's like, "Oh, Jacob and Alex. How old are they?" So she kept the conversation going. So she was very nice. And I, like, afterwards, I thanked her. And I gave her a little gift because this, like, mentally let me get through that moment. If you know what I mean, like if that makes any sense. I'm sorry, by the way, this video is long, but there's no way to keep this short. There's no fucking way. Okay, so yeah, and then the second surgery takes place. They cut me open again. They get rid of the blood clot, close me up, put me back into this post-surgery room. I spend not 2 days, but like a week in that room until they feel I'm stable. Afterwards, they like felt like they treated me like a little child. Like they basically like were pampering me with care and support, just to make sure, because that was like an emergency situation. If they didn't take me into another surgery and I kept going like that, I probably would have died right then and there on that bed. So they did it, and I spent a week there, perhaps. And afterwards, I went back into the general room, and I had only one neighbor, and it was the same guy that was getting a bypass when I was administered into the hospital on the 20th. So it was the same guy, and he was a hilarious guy, and because of him, also, I thanked him a lot. He was a very cool guy. He was like 65-year-old, he said. He was 65. And I thanked him because he had like the biggest heart ever. His humor was on point. He made me laugh so many times. So and he was like hitting on the nurses and shit. So he was quite a funny guy. And because of this, like, company is everything. Like, if in the hospital, if there is another person that experienced a similar thing, like as you, then you get along and it makes you feel like you're supported. So and that went both ways, obviously, for him and for me, because he also, like, I've had a second surgery and he didn't wake up for, like, they couldn't wake him up for 2 days, like, post surgery. They couldn't get him out of anesthesia for 2 days. So they were like calling his wife saying like it's a 50-50. So I'm like, okay. And I thought I had it rough. And it's like, you're it's like you're dreaming, not really dreaming. You don't even know. It's like that. It happens like this. You go to sleep and you wake up. You don't even know what happened. So it's like you sleeping at night, except no, like you're not as conscious about it. Your subconscious isn't there to wake up. Basically, somebody does it for you. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah. And after that, I spent another 2 weeks there. I couldn't go shower. I couldn't take a piss because I had a tube up my, yeah. So I couldn't go to the bathroom myself. I've had a diaper on for the first like few days, and that was wonderful. It's not like I even went number two because I didn't want to. The amount that I ate was super low. I lost like, I think it was like 7 kilos, so quite a lot. I went really thin during that time. It was quite bad. And yeah, and my chest really hurt like hell. Like, holy shit! Like, my heart, it's fine. Like, I didn't even feel any sort of change, so to speak. But my chest, like where they opened me, oh my, it hurt so bad to get up from the bed, to move. I mean, as days went on, and as weeks went on, and as months went on, it felt fine. Obviously, it's been like over half a year now. It's been, I think, 7 months now, post surgery. So I feel a whole lot better. Yeah, but yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I won't go into further details. I won't go into like what else happened in the hospital. The hospital was fine. Post surgery, I'll talk about it, I guess, in another video if people want. But yeah, if you ever have some sort of issue with breathing, or you're tired, check yourself out. It doesn't hurt to check yourself out. You never know. And the sooner you find out if it's something serious or not, the sooner it could save your life. So that's the moral of the story. If something is bothering you, there is no amount of money in the world that's more important to save to not go to a doctor privately or publicly, whatever the case may be. Take care of yourselves, guys, and stay safe. Thanks for listening, for those that made it this long. Peace.